Welcome, folks, to another episode of Quiet Please, the Golf Podcast. I am Alan Depew, your host, and I am joined on our panel, as always, to my left, Mr. Q Mixers himself, Andy Hydorn. Greetings, Andy.
Good evening, all kind podcasters.
Yes. And to my lower left, the prettiest podcaster in golf, Mr. Christian Nazamus.
What's up, boys?
Wait a minute. Don't be shaking your head because I saw one of your user handles for one of your social media.
Was it Pretty Boy?
Podcaster.
Was it really?
Oh, yeah. Come on. So don't be shaking your head.
And Boston Bob, now hailing from Bourbon Country with his own live audience. Bobby.
I got a live audience tonight. I've got Pam, I've got Randy, and I have Sue. We're having a little bit of dinner here in the beautiful area of Versailles, Kentucky. We just had the LPGA Legends. Everything is great. Although I don't have a bourbon, so Christian, you got the Woodford going. Good for you, buddy.
I'll have one on your behalf.
Cheers. Yes.
It's only a matter of time before we have one together.
So
we will have one together.
Hey, a lot was going on last week, so we took a week off. Andy's traveling. Christian's doing whatever pretty guys do. Bobby's got the LPGA Legends. I was having some baseball. I had a baseball week last week, boys, so I'll tell a little bit about that. But we have a lot of things to talk about, and you would think I'm going to talk about Scottie Scheffler first and foremost. We will. We may talk about a live update. We will, just not right now. And it's the U.S. Open this week. But no, oh no. Bob, I'm going to throw it back to you with the LPGA Legends in Kentucky down at the Woodford Club. We built it up for a couple of weeks. Do tell, how was it?
It was absolutely amazing. I dare tell it was wicked awesome, Andy. Yes. So, I mean, one of the special things about this was the 28 LPGA icons of the game, LPGA players, and then we also had 12 of the very best women amateur golfers in the state of Kentucky. So to pair them together, we hoped we hit the proverbial home run. I think we really did that. The comments from the ladies were exceptional. Jane Geddes, who has won the U.S. Open, one of the icons of the LPGA, she said it was one of the best experiences that she's been part of. She had great ideas for next year. Amy Alcott, some great ideas. Hollis Stacy. I mean, at one point, I'm looking on the first tee at the Woodford Club, and I'm saying to myself, there's Hollis Stacy and Amy Alcott, 5 United States Women's Open Championships. Then the next day, I've got Hollis Stacy with Jane Geddes and Lisa Neumann, another 5 Women's U.S. Open Championships. I mean, it was really, really neat, very special. We had a lot of the Woodford Club members out there. The community rallied around it. The whole week with the songwriters, the National Grammy Award-winning songwriters. The next day, Women Leading Kentucky, we had a women's conference, women's clinic. It was really neat because the ladies that came out, we had 80-something ladies sign up for this event. And when they came out, you get a club in their hand and it's exciting, but we drove them out on the golf course because that's where the luncheon was. And when you drive them on the course and you see where the magic happens, then it's like, hey, I want to start this game. I want to get into the game. So that was exciting. 26 under won the event. Yeah, 26 under for 2 days. These ladies can play. These ladies have talent. They've got game. So Becky Morgan and Katrina Matthew ended up winning at 26 under. They also were tied by Lainey Fry and Clara Beth Ramsey. So 2 young girls. Lainey Fry is just leaving UK. She's going to try the qualifying school this fall. I mean, exceptional play by the young amateurs. Amazing play by the LPGA Legends. Spectacular week for women's golf.
That is tremendous. And by the way, Andy, that's 26 real under, not the 46 that we got penciled whipped at the charity tournament.
Oh, no. It's an entirely different thing.
Well, you mentioned, Bobby, I was watching all over social. I think Pam was the unofficial starter out there on the first day.
No, that wasn't me. That was actually our state senator, Amanda Mays Bledsoe.
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
Bringing in
Yes.
the big guns. I love it.
Absolutely.
Hey, I just want to say, you talk about this event and we've been lucky enough to have some of the ladies on as guests and I guess I never really realized what a undertaking this is and how many tentacles there are to what you're doing there. And I just want to kind of congratulate you guys on what you put together because it's true to your passion about bringing people into the game of golf. And I don't know anybody else in this business that does things like you do them. So it's just pretty awesome to see what you all put together and how you included the legends, you included the local ladies and younger player. Like it's awesome. So congrats on all that.
110%.
Well, we have a team effort led by this guy right here.
Thanks, guys.
Well, great work.
Without question, Bobby. But Christian, I mean, I do have to interject. I need your feedback on this. Did Andy just drop a y'all on us?
He did just drop.
No,
He did. No, he absolutely did. You
No,
dropped
did.
the y'all.
we'll have to roll the tape for
Oh, I
do an
will.
instant replay.
Oh, I will.
I haven't even gotten to the y'all yet, and I've been living in the South now for 2 months. So
Anyway, hey, U.S. Open, Bobby. Since we didn't chat last week, we got to talk about up here in my neighborhood. We talked about it when we had the legends on Lancaster Country Club, and it's Lancaster. Great Flynn design, great drama. The top 3 players go 22 over par in the last round, and out of nowhere, the Andy North of the LPGA. All she does is win.
Yep.
All she does is win majors.
Yeah, that's amazing when you've got a couple of wins and they're both U.S. Women's Opens. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I mean, Andy, you've played there. You know the course more than I do, but it obviously Nelly Korda couldn't get by the par 3, making it 10. It would have been kind of fun to have her in the mix at the end, but I think that course stands up. I know the members and the membership, they know that they're not a men's championship length, but that's okay because they know that they still can play really good golf, top quality golf, have women's events there. It's a great setting. Oh, Andy's leaning in.
Andy's leading in. Take it, Andy.
He's leaning in.
The body language
Here we
has gotten to the point where it's perfect, right? So the one thing that's interesting to me about the Ladies Open, it produces the most bizarre leaderboards.
Agreed.
Year after year after year. And sometimes it produces a bizarre winner. I don't believe that Yuka Saso would be in that category as a bizarre winner, but like if you look especially through the first, second, and third rounds, you look at that leaderboard, there weren't many top players on that leaderboard. And I don't know what the reason is, but year after year, that tournament produces a funky leaderboard. And I'm guessing partly because it's such a difficult test of golf. And, when you're in those sort of conditions and it's very penal as you get off the fairway, certain people every week just have it dialed in. They're hitting it on the screws, they're hitting it in play all the time. And, those tough conditions don't really get to them. But in general, it's quite an interesting thing, the types of leaderboards that this tournament produces.
Andy, did you see her interview afterwards?
I did not.
Christian?
I also did not see her No, I did not.
Am I the
Sorry.
only one doing research on this, guys? I mean, Bobby has an excuse. He was busy with the LPGA legends, guys. Come
A
on.
little busy.
Anyway,
Yeah, it was a
Brando simply gets up to having the conversation as the lead analyst, and they're going through all the shots. And I'll tell you what was remarkable in just a short amount of time since she won at Olympic Club, which I have a thought on this also, is her personality just shows through. They're showing a shot. And one of the comments was, "Well, here's the shot in 14." She's like, "Yeah, I hit that one really good," with this excited attitude. And she goes, "No, that was like a great shot right there."
I did see some of that, and I was struck the same way. Like, she's a genuine, like, interview in front of the microphone. It's pretty awesome to see.
But did you see? I mean, in the clips that you did see, or just overall talking about the leaderboard. I mean, this is the second event. She played exceptionally well, but both times there was these players that collapsed in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, she handled the pressure, right, Bobby?
Yep. Yeah. I did. I was busy this week. I didn't get to see a lot of it.
We'll cut you a pass. U.S. Open then leads obviously to this week's is the Open Championship is the U.S. Open Championship is being played on Donald Ross' finest test he's ever created. But before we go there, I got one last stop on the LPGA Tour to showcase them, and that is the 60 put up by Strom at the Shoprite Classic to come out of nowhere on a phenomenal Donald Ross design in Jersey, down on the Jersey Shore. Andy, have you played that golf course as well?
I have, actually.
And would you agree that it's a golf course you can go low on?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I played it once a long time ago. But I remember it being a really fun golf course to play.
We're referring to Seaview golf course, Christian. Plays right out into the bay. Wind's just whipping, and I can tell you because Eagle Ridge is actually only about 45 minutes north of there. Saturday in particular, and even a little bit on Sunday, the winds were whipping. And I've played Seaview when the winds have been coming off the water. It's a strong test of golf. 60 is 60. I mean, it's a scoreable golf course, classic Donald Ross. Second shot dictates everything, smallish greens, but Bobby, 60-60.
Yeah, I don't care if you're playing miniature golf or a pitch and putt. You have to get in the hole in a tournament. If anybody's listening, you don't think that's true, just go 50 yards away from the green and try to hit a wedge shot and put $500 of your own money up, $1,000 of your own money. When you're in tournament conditions, everything just goes right through the roof. So you throw in the wind. I mean, we had at the Woodford Legends Invitational the first day, the wind was whipping. All the players talked about the effect the wind has. I don't think the average golfer realizes the effect of the wind, especially hitting into the wind. Right, Andy? I mean, or Kristen, you guys who all play tournament golf, they think I'm between a 7 and an 8. I better hit an 8 hard. No, more spin, ball balloons. That's the worst thing you can do. Learn to hit a knockdown, learn to flight it lower. Playing in the wind is just so different for the average golfer. Just run of the mill. I've always said, play golf in just one round every now and then. Just go ahead one round and hit one club extra into every green. Yep, you might hit it over a couple of greens, but I bet you hit more greens in regulation than if you're trying to jump on a club.
I just want to say
that's my golf instruction for tonight.
I just want to say that you did not reference me with talking about, hitting a golf shot into the wind at all, Bob.
No, you can hit every shot.
You said Christian or Andy,
you only hit downwind shots, Alan.
I couldn't agree more with that statement, though. I could not agree more with that statement. And
the putter doesn't get into the wind.
Hitting knockdowns is so critical. It separates you from the field. It's honestly, it does, because I learned that in college. I was that guy that always hit an 8-iron hard, and then I spun it off the front of the green, or I spun it off the green wherever it was. And I learned, to hit flighted shots, take a little bit off of it. And, I used to never be able to hit a pitching wedge 100 yards, but now I can hit a knockdown wedge, that distance, or 95 yards if I have to. Alan can attest to it. Alan's been behind me before when I hit a knockdown 7-iron at Eagle Ridge. He's seen that before.
I think it's such a good point too, because, if you take a situation where you're like, just say 150 yards out, in your normal 150 clubs and 8-iron, if you got 20 miles an hour of wind behind you, you may hit 9-iron. If you have 20 miles an hour wind at your face, you may hit 5-iron.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
so it's not equal each way. You know,
Right.
like Bob said, into the wind, you need to take less club, you need to swing slower so that the ball doesn't get way up in the air, it doesn't have too much spin. So it's not just as simple as, oh, 20 miles an hour, that's one club this way or one club that way. It's not the way it works.
And y'all would know about playing Texas wind golf.
Maybe y'all would know, but
There's a lot of wind in Kentucky, I'm telling you right now.
yeah.
But also, if you've got elevation change, here's another one. Go to a golf course with a little Ellen at your course. If you've got any elevation changes and the green is sitting up, I guarantee you, I'll bet the farm on this. You'll see ball marks on the front of the green. You won't see many in the middle. You'll see none back of the green. Nobody hits enough club to get on a green.
Yeah.
When it's uphill.
Bobby's words of
And the ground.
wisdom. I thought you had other words of wisdom. You were ready to run on.
Cheers, Kristen.
Cheers.
All right, one more thought on the Shoprite, and I'm going to butcher this, Andy. Nasa Hatoka.
Hataoka.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Disqualified after the first round. Too long looking for her golf ball adjacent to the 9th hole. I know exactly where she was. That probably was in it as well. But took 3 minutes and like 23 seconds. 23 seconds over the limit.
Now, while technically, yes, that's true, it is the biggest bullshit rule change that came out in 2019. Changing it from 5 minutes to 3 minutes makes zero sense. It was just overly zealous attempt to speed up play, and it's such a horrible change to the rules. That's
Bobby?
my
Bobby,
soft opinion.
As a certified rules official, you have any thoughts on this?
I would agree with my colleague formerly from Massachusetts. You know, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, it's like you're talking 120 seconds. I don't know. When I saw that, I thought, really? You know, I don't know. There were other rules changes I liked. There were some that I thought, whatever. I know a lot of people, it's sort of like, you know, spikes. When the first time you get spikes on your shoes and you go clickety clack, that's really exciting. And the terms hazard, you know, like there's casual water, there's certain terms that have been around for decades, and now everything's changed. So yeah, the 5 to 3 minutes, I agree with Andy. It's like, I don't know.
But Christian, do you think that it was the TV call-in or the television that got her? Got any thoughts on this?
It could. I mean, yeah, it easily could have been. I agree with what Andy said about how it doesn't make a difference. To be honest with you, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, like, you know, would she have found the ball in the next minute and a half? Who knows? She might have.
She found it right after the 3-minute mark.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't see that happen. But okay, then to my point, like it goes to show you that like after 3 minutes or 5 minutes, like that, I don't agree with that rule personally. I don't think that rule should be
3 minutes. 3 minutes goes by way too fast. And first of all,
5 minutes goes by way too fast. When you're
Right.
out there looking for a ball, you feel like you're out there for 10 minutes. Everybody's done it.
But when it was 5 minutes, nobody had stopwatches out. But now there's 3 minutes that everyone's timing everybody. And it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem fair.
I don't agree with the disqualification either, personally. I mean, if you find your ball after 3 minutes, give them like
There's honestly no other way to deal with it than that. It's terrible, but you can't deal with it any other way, you know? It's terrible. It's a terrible rule.
it's awful.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make an argument out of it. That's all.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem is you can argue all day long about how it's not enough time but at the end of the day, there's no way around it, you know?
So I'm going to try to patchwork this together for a second. Donna Ross, Pinehurst, U.S. Open champions. Before we dive into the Open, let's talk about a great champion, one that's on a heater right now, Scottie Scheffler.
Who?
Did I do? I did. I mean, it's best I could do.
That was
Well-
normally you're a great segue guy, but
There's
that
only like
was-
4 degrees of separation on that one, Bobby.
Yeah, you tried.
But no, that's what I remember, Andy. I remembered. There's one going around social right now in Kentucky, by the way, in Louisville, Wildwood something. They had their member guest. A guy showed up.
I saw this.
Shows up in his Escalade with a police officer hanging off the side of the.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Classic
golf bros. There's nothing better.
bros, bro.
Golf bros are just too much.
All right, Scottie Scheffler. Bobby, can we start talking about comparisons?
I think you have to start to get in the conversation. Everything I've been reading is he's not Tiger. There's only one Tiger, but the phrase is Scottie's playing like Tiger, and who's going to be his Phil Mickelson, who's going to be the Tom Watson, the Jack Nicklaus, who's going to be the Jack to Ernie. So I don't know who's out there now. Aberg, maybe. He's won. What was it? He won at Bay Hill, Jack's place. He's in this upper echelon class of, to Andy's point, many times where he has won. It's rarefied air of the times he's won to the Jacks, to the Arnies, to the Tigers. I really, really did not. I was going to go kicking and screaming into this U.S. Open, not picking Scottie, but I don't know. I might have to default to him.
Andy, new all-time record earnings, kind of be expected with elevated events. He still has 3 months left to add to that number. Does the conversation, the Tiger-esque conversation, start when it's after multiple years, not just the heater he's on right now?
Well, it was interesting. I was listening to Sirius radio today, PGA Tour radio.
Doing
They
some
were talking
research.
about-
Congratulations.
Doing research, yeah. They were talking about how Scottie's, accomplishments here this year are amazing, and numbers wise, wins wise, they're similar to what Tiger had. And the point that I think John McGinnis made was that, Tiger did that being physically superior to everybody else who was playing golf at the time. And Scottie's doing it being physically equal to everybody else. So everyone else can hit all the shots. They can hit it, with all the speed and all those other things that Tiger's contemporaries couldn't do. But Scottie's doing this, with precision, if you will, and just kind of picking apart the world of golf, just like it's his own deal. It's unbelievable.
Christian, when he walks on the tee, does he already have a 3-shot advantage?
It's a tough one. Certain tournaments, I would say yes, but other tournaments, I would say no. I don't think there's a Tiger effect here personally. There will never be another Tiger. I mean, we'll never see what Tiger did back in the early 2000s personally. I don't believe that. Will I say that he by far has separated himself from a Rory, from a Xander? By far. I mean, he is unstoppable at the moment right now. Even going into Pinehurst this week, it's hard to bet against him. I mean, every single category that he's done.
We could clear this up real fast. Is anybody going to choose anybody else at Pinehurst this week?
Yes. But I'm saying that for me personally, like Scottie has mastered the mental part of the game, right? I mean, he is just like with everything that is like life has thrown at him recently by what happened, unfortunately, at the PGA, and now coming back to win, you know, and even shooting the 65 that day that he got arrested, and then coming back, having a baby, and now he's also like just winning the memorial. It's like he has separated himself tremendously from everybody else in the world. And, you know, obviously it's very hard to bet against him. It's very hard to root against him because he's such a good person. And obviously what he's doing right now on the golf course is it's unimaginable. It's unthinkable because it's incredible to watch, honestly.
So let's then.
You know what
Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, you know what I like, especially with what Scotty's doing, and Brendan's not with us tonight, fellow instructor. I don't know, the less, I don't know how to word this, like with Scotty's footwork, you know, he just gets the ball in the hole and he struggles at times with the putter. But you know, Tiger had this majestic kind of golf swing, and Scotty doesn't, to me. I mean, he just gets the ball in the hole. He's got the crazy footwork. I mean, you see some videos on Instagram now of people breaking their ankles trying to swing like Scotty. So I'm always a fan, even with Matthew Wolf. I don't know, It's just, I like the old school. And when you see these LPGA legends, they've got some quirkiness in their swing. They're old school. They just know how to play the game. They get the ball in the hole. They have amazing fortitude, amazing mental toughness. And that's what I like about that. You know, I don't like robotic swings.
Well, as our co-host BE says, swing your swing.
Yeah. Yep. That's good for any amateur golfer. Like, don't try to overdo it. Just you know, it takes you a while to understand the phrase, but swing within yourself and, you know, things like that. But I like it when there's quirkiness that wins, and what Scottie Scheffler can dominate with that footwork. Because I know years ago, I think it was Hogan, I know it was somebody who said, no great golfer played without great footwork. I don't think Scottie Scheffler has great footwork per se.
Yeah, I wonder though, you know, with all this you know, swing catalyst stuff and you know, the ground pressure measuring things. I haven't seen anything, but I wonder what Scotty's pressures look like, because they could very well be pretty standard. It just, to the eyeball, it looks funny, right? But he could be, you know, pressuring his feet into the ground on a pretty optimal way. Who knows? I don't know. We should get someone on to ask that question.
I mean, it's not like the footwork's, I guess, going all over the place before contact.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
that's kind of what I mean.
Yeah, a point of contact,
Well,
and then that trail foot just goes everywhere.
it goes to show you too that you could have a picture perfect, beautiful swing like an Adam Scott or a Louis Oosthuizen, or you could do what Scotty does. It doesn't matter what kind of swing you have. You can have a Matthew Wolf swing at the end of the day. You know, what matters is that he puts the ball in the hole less than everybody else does. I mean, that's literally all that matters. And people
Yeah,
can make fun of his swing, but
and his strength is not putting the ball in the hole on the green. His strength is hitting the golf ball.
Yep.
So the thing that everyone wants to talk about is his weird footwork. And I mean, you ever see the way his right arm finishes on a lot of his swings? It's bizarre looking. But the fact of the matter is, he is by far the best ball striker
by far.
on the
That-
PGA
There's not
Tour,
even a
by
comparison.
far.
Like there's
No
not even a
comparison.
comparison.
Right.
Literally.
So Pinehurst let's get there. Pinehurst kicked off as literally I hit record with the Golf Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. I got to see the initial one with Sandra Palmer. Talk about feisty competitor. Bobby, you spent a lot of time in Pinehurst. You involved in Hall of Fame before in your previous work with the PGA. Right move to move it back there. And what's your thoughts leading into this week in the Sandhills?
I love them going back to Pinehurst on a regular rotation. It's, you know, pure golf. I know the course has matured since 2014 with what the changes they had made before. It's matured in with some of the wiregrass. I think it, you know, the creative part of it, as far as, you know, some of the golf courses they picked before the U.S. Open, it was really, really heavy duty on the rough. Now I think you're always going to get the best player. I've always said that Andy knows where this is, but there's a miniature golf course. There's a miniature golf course north
Eggo
of Boston.
Harrington's.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, hey, go Harrington's. If you took them, yes, right next to the Chinese food restaurant. Yes,
Route 28 in Stoneham.
Route 28. Yep, you got it. I know it means nothing to so many people, but we appreciate it. But if you took the best players to that spot, the guy playing the best is going to win. So I like going back to Pinehurst on a regular rotation. I think the aura, the birthplace of golf, or the I don't know, the home of golf in America, just everything about it. It's so pure. It's so great. And I just love the golf course. I mean, they could do that US Open on any one of their courses there.
Yep.
Well, the cradle is closed. I think that's the driving range this week. That's
making Pam. That's making Pam sad. Pam loves the cradle.
Oh, I love the cradle. It's the only thing I can play. So, Andy, to your point, it's about the venues, events and venues, right?
Yep.
And I find myself, as I'm watching the telecast live from the US Open, I'm like, I know that spot. I hit balls there. I did this. I did that. You have a familiarity with Pinehurst.
Frame of reference.
They've even moved the statue so that more people can actually get pictures with the Payne Stewart statue. So as you look to the Open this week, what's your thoughts?
Well, I'm contractually obligated to pick Rory.
Okay.
Of course. But how do you pick against Scottie at this point? I mean, you're stupid. The pool that I'm in, if I get first pick in the pool, I'm picking Scottie. You just have to. Now, past Scottie and Rory, I don't know who else I would, venture to think. I think Morikawa is playing good golf right now. Xander's obviously playing good golf right now, but I don't know. It's interesting to think about if you have in that pool, if you have picks 4, 5, 6, like who are you taking?
I'd be shocked if it's not any one of 5 names, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say that Scottie Scheffler's the Q mixer of drink mixers.
He is.
He is
Premium,
without a
premium
doubt
all the way.
premium of quality mixers.
Yes.
Premium quality mixers. Yeah.
Christian, lay it on us. I've been sitting here waiting ever since you dropped that bump. I'm not taking Scottie Scheffler.
No, I mean, obviously, as you guys know me, I love I love dropping the mic drop here. Like I could easily see Scottie winning. That's just a no-brainer for anybody. I think Colin has a very, very good chance of winning this week, personally. But how do you count out Brooks? I mean, he's won it in the past. I'm not saying he's going to win, but how do you count him out? Like, Colin was my pick this week. I ultimately think after last week being that close to beating Scottie, I think he's going to come out very well. That's just my opinion. But there's a bunch of dark horses that you can take this week. It's just a matter of where you're going to miss the ball, obviously, and your approach shots. There are certain areas on Pinehurst that you have to miss.
Think about what you just said. There's a lot of dark horses this week. We're talking about the 2, 3, 4, 5 players in the world.
There is. You could see it. You can make an argument for a lot of guys that actually have a very good short game that can do well at Pinehurst. They can get their way around the golf course. I don't think that there's going to be a double digit this week. I think the final score is going to be like 5 under, maybe 4 under. I think it's going to be a great Open to watch. So I think it's going to be a very low scoring Open, personally.
What happens at all these US Opens, you've got somebody that qualified in New Jersey or Ohio or out west, just an unknown that ends up being like 3 under after 15 holes and leading the US Open. That's a cool thing.
Without question.
Yeah, that would be the US Women's Open, though. Because that happens all the time.
Well, there you go, Bobby.
Well, I have to bring it up because I bring him up every major, and I always pick against him to miss the cut. Is Tiger making the cut?
50-50.
I say no. I mean, I'm going on my streak here. He's not making the cut. So
I actually think he makes the cut.
on the number,
Pinehurst. No, I actually think I think Tiger. I was optimistic the last time. I think Tiger top 35 this week. It's a flat golf course relatively till you get back around numbers 4 or 5, 6, that area. Yeah.
well, currently the CBS right now, he's 125 to 1 to win. So
You are Mr. Betman, so throw a couple dollars down on that.
He's the parlay kid, is what he is.
absolutely not. I will not be.
I don't know. He and BE, they got dueling parlays most games.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I came close to that last one, but Scottie didn't beat Morikawa the last day, unfortunately. So
Andy,
It's all
I'm going to
good.
put you on the hot seat and then rotate it here for a second. Since the U.S. Open is played at different venues, but for the most part, we know the venues. Greatest U.S. Open moment that you can think of.
Wow, the greatest U.S. Open moment that I can think of. Tom Watson chipping in at Pebble Beach, 1982.
Last meeting you took mine. All right,
I'm
Bobby.
glad I took yours.
Bobby, since your battery's running low.
Yeah, I hope to stay with you for the evening. Yeah, I probably have a couple, but Penn Stewart with that putt at going back to Pinehurst, that is really special. They're losing.
mine, it's got to be when Tiger made the putt against Rocco.
Okay.
All great moments.
And
Yeah, I mean, there's so many you
not-
can choose.
Mine's going to be totally random. You ready for this? Steve Jones beats Tom Lehman, 18th
Yep.
hole. Great finish. And
Congressional?
What's that?
Was that Congressional?
No,
I
it
think
was Oakland Hills.
Oakland Hills, yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I was this because of when the U.S. Open finishes this is why it was so instrumental for me and most memorable. I was so jacked up, Bobby, as you know, I was running Goose Creek at the time. I took a 18-month-old Andrew with his plastic clubs, and we headed straight for the golf course. And I was like 4 under after 4, and he's hitting little left-handed shots the whole time. That's my most memorable U.S. Open.
That's
That's
awesome.
a good one.
That would be 2006. Is that right?
That would be 1996.
96. Yeah.
Ah, right.
That's a
And
good one.
Christian, he still has that same swing,
One-handed lefty.
one-handed lefty. All right, live report.
Dun 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 dun. Okay, so there was a live gathering in town here in Houston this week.
Oh,
Did you
y'all
go?
I did not go, but there was a lot of chatter in one of my Facebook groups about the people that did go. And the same stuff that you hear all the time about how the golf bros think it's like the coolest thing ever. And how the golf kind of conservatives think it's the worst thing ever. So it's pretty much the same message that you get all the time about live. One thing, YouTube TV now gets the CW, and I turned it on, and I don't know if you guys have watched any of the telecasts of live.
No, but I do have YouTube TV, and I'm not suggesting that they are good coverage, but
They have like weird background music playing during the telecast.
are they piping in the same birds that they do at Augusta?
No, they're not piping in birds, but they're piping in like weird a
Rockabilly.
weird music track. And it's odd and it doesn't fit, but the telecast to me isn't great because it's literally jumping around shot with no context. And I know that's their their kind of thing is they want to show more golf. But to me, golf on TV is all about showing golf with the context of what you're looking at. Like what's the importance of this shot leading up to it, where, you know, in live it's just like rapid fire, shot. So,
Like Sevi Ballesteros in '86 pull hooking it into the pond on 15.
yeah,
You need to know the context as opposed
yeah,
to,
you do.
yeah, but they're not playing for anything. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other part of it, right? If you look at like the leaderboard there, you know, Carlos Ortiz won. Oddly enough, he won the Houston Open a couple years ago. So he's a multiple Houston winner. But some of the names on the leaderboard were, you know, like Graham McDowell finished tied for 6th, and yeah, it's just a weird eclectic group of golfers, and the cream is not rising to the top in live events. When those live players go play majors, the cream rises to the top. When they play live events, they don't give a shit, and they sometimes play good, sometimes they don't.
The only
So-
thing I want to add to the Live report is Rory was recently quoted as
Yes.
saying about how Live's not going anywhere. They've got New York offices, they got 200 employees. They're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I do applaud the fact that they're trying to now push for something to happen. And Rory was involved in a 4.5 hour meeting last week about that. So, you know, I don't know the details, but hoping that there's some clarity on this, you know, going forward, so that people can stop guessing and fighting about live golf,
Here.
Hey, Alan,
Yep.
including
Alan?
me.
Alan, I'm with our Quiet Please film crew out here at Versailles at the Woodford Club, and our batteries are going a little low, so I might need to jump in with my 18th
Well,
hole.
you know what, Bobby? How
It's time.
appropriate for the segue that I was going to say we're on the 19th hole. Why don't you share that with us and the audience, of course.
I always share with the audience. I don't want to get cut off here. I think I have three.
No, feel free. Jump right in there.
Sorry to hijack the show here, but
Yeah,
all right,
I got Bob.
I got two things. 18th hole, the obviously the Woodford Legends Invitational, amazing celebration of golf for women in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So get ready for some big stuff happening here at the Woodford Club. We've got more things happening for women's golf, girls golf, and then I was just amazed, Andy. This goes to what we talk about with the PGA Tour and how much it means about the tour and the history of the tour. Robert McNamara winning the Canadian Open. It's part of the PGA Tour, but it's a Canadian Open, National Open. If you haven't seen that interview he did with Amanda, the CBS interview, yeah, that was absolutely beyond special, beyond emotional, beyond everything. Him and his dad winning that Canadian Open. I mean, can you believe that? That will stick with me for a long, long time. The emotion, how special that was. I mean, you can win a father-son event with your dad. It's incredible. But to win a National Open, win the Canadian Open, I mean, I'll never forget that interview. And just, she didn't have to say anything. It was just Robert and his dad just taking that and the comments, and it was really special. I mean, that's what golf's all about. That's what the PGA Tour is all about.
And it's Amanda McElroy, by the way.
I knew Rory's original wife. I used to give her some golf lessons. So
Yeah.
Crazy how things happen.
Christian?
As I say it every week, you know, we have a lot of great stuff planned. I think, you know, it's always great to get together with the boys and talk golf. And I think it's going to be a great week personally this week with the US Open. It's one of my favorite times of the year. And I'm just so excited to see Pinehurst in its element. And I think it's going to be a great test this week for the guys. And just please, guys, continue to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Just we have a lot of great stuff coming as well. And just a lot of great laughs ahead.
Andy?
I have a 3-part final thought here.
We need a golf cart for this.
There are 3 quick ones though.
Where's my cart key?
So I do think that it's really cool what the USGA is doing with some of the golf courses and putting them in years-long rotations. So Pinehurst actually has, I think, multiple 4 or 5 US Opens scheduled over the next, 30 years, which I think is pretty awesome. Places like Pebble Beach and Oakmont, and it's a good thing for the game. It's a good thing for the events and venues like we talk about. Um, and then, just one comment to show how fleeting the game is. Sebastian Soderberg had a 9-shot lead with like 3 holes to play on Saturday and ended up losing the tournament on Sunday. He went from blowing the field away to shooting 77 on Sunday. So, golf's tough. And, now that we found out where Andy Ogletree is, we should start a new series called Where's Anthony Kim?
I like that.
Because no one
I like
cares
it.
about him anymore.
Pinehurst, home of the Ogletree.
Yeah,
Was that 3?
that's 3.
Okay, I'm going to talk quick. I'm going to try to talk quick because I want to make sure Bobby and our audience doesn't disappear. So past week was big baseball week for me. I had some season tickets to the Phillies. I went to another game, but the coolest part was, and I hate to do this to my Boston friends, Mariano Rivera. Let me hold this up to the camera here. Signed range ball.
Signed a range ball.
But not any range ball. We're down on the range with Riley. Shout out to Riley Plitz, our head golf professional over there. We're talking to Mo. We're trying to give him some lessons. And I mean, world-class athlete. It's not too difficult and to give him lessons. You say, do this, and one swing later, he's doing it. And Mo lines up, 2 hops it in the cup on the range.
No.
And proceeds to tell me, Alan, go get the ball. I'll sign it for you.
That's awesome.
That's a signed ball.
I almost stopped traffic on the range. Went out, got the ball. Mo signed it for me. So, Mo, thank you for visiting Eagle Ridge again. And as you guys know, this is my favorite week 10 days of the year. I'm talking about Lord Stanley Cup is on display. Florida Panthers, they got the first game. I'm rooting for Edmonton, and everybody should root for Edmonton because they got the best fans. And if you know, you know.
If the Bruins aren't in the Stanley Cup, it's not a real Stanley Cup, right, Andy?
Boom.
Boom.
Go Celtics.
I am rooting for the Oilers, but the Celtics will win the NBA championship. Mic drop.
Christian knows. Till next week.